Thank you. Special thanks for the introduction. I should record that for my mom. So, yep. It's a bit weird to start a talk about education saying that I love video game. And one of the things that I learned in video game was that when it gets so difficult that you cannot beat it, change the difficulty. And if cannot, then Google search and just see how to beat this boss, the shortcut, and so on. But the thing is, in life, when it gets hard, we don't seem to be able to change the difficulty. So I had a hard time in school, and I thought, like, how can I make it easier? I saw a lot of, it's like my friends getting A's, like, how can I get A? So I tried to find a shortcut. Do you know how to get a straight A? Anyone want to know? You want to know how to get a straight A? Of course you do, right? So you just don't go to class. 1 day, 2 day, 3 day in a row. There you go, straight A. Voila. Okay, if anyone knows that, scrap it out, okay? I don't want like next day, just like you absent from class and then show your mom, like, hey mom, I got an A. Like, and I tell that because it's really explained about my academic journey. And you can see how goofy I was. And I get a lot of complaints from teachers. So, to which, where are you? Why are you not in my class? Another one is, why you keep sleeping in my class? So it's either I'm not in class or I was in class sleeping. It was to a point where, my teacher got so tired of me. So then it's like, in the middle of my nap, it's just like, you, stand up. Get out of my class and never come back. So just like, ah. And next days, I never knew that I got so famous. So I got text messages from my friends. And it's like, dude, like, I heard somebody got kicked out of class. Was that you? So the teacher told pretty much most of his students about me. And the thing about learning was that in school, I was never feel comfortable in learning, and I just tried to find the opportunity to exit it. It didn't start in school, apparently. It started the moment I was born. So my parents gave me this beautiful name, Buddhi, which in Khmer means knowledge or wisdom. And the moments that I step into class, seeing my grade, I kind of like, do I live up to that, right? And the worst insult that I got in school was, I thought you are smart as your name. So painful. And, without doubt, I love my parents, right? And I love this name. But it's just very hard to have the courage to use it. So growing up, my parents just keep telling me, especially my mom, she's like, when you meet someone, tell them your name, tell them what it meant, and be proud of it. So I go to university, meet new people, introduce myself. It's like, hi, I'm Johnny. That's how I got my nickname, by the way. Even though I don't really like school so much, I do love learning. So during my time in college, I try to spend more time outside of school and just learn. Because outside of school, I just feel so much freedoms, just I can learn whatever I want. Because in school, it's a lot of have to learn this, I have to learn that. There's not a lot of freedom for me to learn to express myself. And because of those opportunities, it helped me a lot in starting up my career. So I got jobs working in multiple countries afterwards, which I appreciate and develop a lot of skill, and it's kind of a help to elevate my career. But there was one moment that changed that. So what happened was that, so I moved to Thailand and worked there. And, I was, a can-do person. I just try to do as many things as I want to a point where I reached burnout. One morning I wake up, there's blood run out of my nose, and there's blood spill on the pillow. I thought it was, well, maybe it's just, coincidental. Who knows, right? I didn't tell anyone about that. Then it happens again and again. And it's like, whoa, I'm only 23 years old. This is not okay. And it was not only that I was unhealthy, I was unhappy. I was broke. And so many things in my life just didn't go well. Even the career was kind of take off in some way. And I realized that in life, career was only one fraction of it. Well, I can have a good job doing a job I love, and I can earn a lot of money, but what if I don't enjoy time with my family? If I don't have any friends? Right? There's so many different things, and I realized like I need to figure out life. Because this author, Matt Hage, he mentioned something very profound. He said, if your life doesn't go as planned, or if your life doesn't go the way that you want, you have to ask yourself why. And I didn't know why. So I go out and just figure out like why my life is so wrong, why I'm so unhappy. And I figure out there's so much to life. So with this inspiration, I'm kind of like, okay, I need to explore it, and I grab as many books as I can read. So in the past 5 years, I've been reading like excessive amount with different, categories, just like trying to understand what is life, how to live a good life, how to live happy. And since then, it's allowed me to be at the stage that I am right now. Yes, I'm older, and we're all scared of getting old, but I started to enjoy it because when you learn as time goes, you age well, you age better. Because now I would say I'm happiest that I've ever been, healthiest than I've ever been. And so many different things. And the thing is, I shared my story with the podcast of what I learned from all these things. And the most important about what I share it's not what I learn, but what I want people to learn is that just go out there and learn something. It doesn't have to be from me. It doesn't have to be the lesson that I learned. Just learn something that matters to you. So, talking about learning, I want to share a few things that might actually help you with your learning journey. So, one, there's a difference between knowledge and knowing. The thing is like we're so obsessed with knowledge. We think that, well, I go to school, get good grade, straight A, I have knowledge. And we never have to learn again, which I find is like a false. Since I graduate, I feel like there's so much to know, right? There's so much to know. I don't know how to save. Like, I didn't know how to, take someone out on a date, or what to eat, how to work out, so many different things. And when we put ourselves in the stage of learning, curious, and keep learning, then we keep evolving. As Bruce Lee once said, be formless, shapeless like water. If you put water in a cup, it becomes a cup. If you put water in a bottle, it becomes a bottle. Water can flow, water can crash. So be waters. What he means by that is that don't stick with what you know, keep evolving. Saying that, I mean like, look, I'm not the person I was yesterday. I'm the person I am right now. And the person I am tomorrow, I'm going to be tomorrow, is not the person I am right now. Because there's always new experiences, new learning. We keep evolving. And we put that into perspective, learning is a lifelong journey. It's not something that you do once and you don't have to do it again. Because the world keeps changing. And if we don't change ourselves, life gets difficult. Because the world keeps changing. There's always new obstacles, new challenges coming ahead of us. So keep learning, whether you graduate or not. Make it a lifelong thing. Second is that, in my story I shared about how much I don't like school, but I love learning, right? So school is a good place to learn, but it's not the only place to learn. There's so many things that you can learn, like books, talking to someone, getting mentored, coached, getting a course online, get, an experience of a job that you want to do, or just observations. Just so many ways to learn. And we don't have to fixate ourselves and just like, I'm just going to be learning in school only and I don't have to learn other things. And the thing is, there's this great quote from this amazing novelist. Probably some of you know. It's like Harukami. Murakami's, yeah. So he said that if you read only the books that everyone is reading, you can only think like everyone is thinking. We cannot think differently. And the same thing is like in school, if we just keep learning only what everyone is learning, we're gonna think the same as everyone. And if you want to evolve, if you want to have a niche, if you want to have a leverage, then learn something different. Learn something interests you. And because not a lot of people are learning outside of class, which is quite sad, when you're putting yourself into that habit to keep learning, you have a big leverage that not many people are having. Third one is learning is time saving. The most common excuse from people when they talk about like reading and learning things like workout or whatsoever is like, I don't have time. But it's quite ironic because to me, learning saved a lot of my time. It saved a lot of my time. There's this saying that it's good to learn from your mistake, but it's even better to learn from other people's mistakes. Imagine I have to do something to make a mistake. I'll go and spend 20 years just trying to figure something out. But it's just like, I can just pick up a book and see what did this person who went through that experience learn? What's the journey was like? Then, I save a lot of time. Imagine if you read one book and it saved you 1 year of your life, save a lot of time, right? And for the person who read, especially, or the person who keep learning, don't judge them by their age, right? I may be 28, but I probably live like hundreds of years. I probably live hundreds of lives. You never know, right? Because I live a lot throughout this, reading across time. And the more we do it, the more time that we're gonna save. And not only just learning from other people's mistakes, because when we learn, we know how to optimize our life better. Imagine, we learn how to stay calm. Then we spend less time with the stress that we're having, right? Imagine we learn to be more productive. We spend time more effectively at work, right? And the fourth one is that make learning fun. Make learning something you enjoy by read what you enjoy, by learn what you enjoy. And I learned like in life, like we have a lot of have to. Some of the have to are good, right? It's necessary to do stuff that within our responsibility. But we do not do enough of the want to. What do we want to learn? And because we don't spend enough time with the want to, then we start hating learning. Because when we think of learning, it's like, so boring. It's not fun or whatsoever, right? Or you feel the pressure and so on. So that's one of the things that I realized with working out, for example. I hate working out. It's painful, and you do the same movement. It's not fun. I want to make it fun, right? Because I know that working out is important for me, but it just never clicked to me. It's weird, right? So I went on a journey. It's like earlier this year, probably 9 months ago, I started learning martial arts. So I was like, hey, that can be a good workout. It can be fun. So I start moving a lot more, And it's fun. I find myself taking break more often throughout work and just doing stuff like this. And I love moving a lot more, right? So figure out, tap into that curiosity for you. Be a child again. Have fun. Think of yourself what you want to do outside of this responsibility that we're currently having. And the more of the things that we spend time with, that we enjoy, is going to create more joys for our life and also grow us to be a better person as well. So this is pretty much the lesson that I want to share with you. The key thing is make learning fun. Make learning intentional. Make learning purposeful. Make learning a lifetime habit. Make learning an everyday things. Because we can get stuck at some point in our life. And if we know we're stuck, we can learn to unstuck ourselves if we don't know what to do. And I want to close up this talk with one of my favorite quotes of all. It's what motivated me to go on this journey as well. So it said, as long as you live, keep learning how to live. right? Learning is not just a small period of time, but it should be a lifetime. Because when new challenges present to us, we can learn on how to transform ourselves to a person who can overcome it. Earlier, in the beginning of the talk, I talked about video games. And it's just like video games, right? I mean, you go and meet a boss fight that you cannot beat. If you cannot beat the level, what can you do, right? Well, change the intensity of the game, right? Maybe that one. Another way, just go out, fight some, it's like smaller enemy to gain experience, build more skill, and get stronger, and you come back to that boss. And that's what learning does. Learning is not just, sometimes we kind of think like, oh, I have to work, I have to keep doing, right? It's part of the act now kind of theme that we're doing now. But learning is like help us to act even better. It's the action that can help us to act smarter and deal with our life differently. So no matter what stage you are in life, as long as our heart's still beating, our breath still flow, keep learning, because the quality of our life depends on it. Thank you.